On the 15th of March, Jeremey Hunt will deliver his first ever spring budget. There is definitely heavy criticism at the moment that the current policies are anti-business and are slowing down our economy. And Rishi Sunak has pledged that one of his top 5 priorities is to get the economy growing, so he has got to start taking action on this ASAP. But due to inflation, the government is very unlikely to revert to the tactics used by Liz Truss of slashing taxes to try and grow the economy, because this will fuel inflation. Instead, what we should expect to see from this budget is policies that could impact businesses up and down the UK, because the government will be trying to get businesses to invest. So let's have a look at my predictions for the spring budget and what will have the biggest impact on businesses in the UK. Now, number one, and the biggest thing on most business owners' minds right now, is corporation tax, because on the 1st of April 23, this will go from 19% to a whopping 25%. Now, this increase in tax rate was originally announced back in 2021 by Rishi Sunak when he was the Chancellor. And in 2022, Liz Truss spectacularly announced that she was cancelling this, but that tax hike was very quickly reinstated again by Jeremey Hunt. Now, there is massive pressure on the government to cancel this tax increase, but I personally cannot see it happening because it will deliver up to 17 billion of revenue in just 1 year for the government. There is heavy criticism that it's anti-business, but actually it doesn't affect the vast majority of small businesses in the UK anyway, because it only comes into effect over 50k. Additionally, in bigger businesses, when you're calculating the return on investment of a project, the tax rate comes into account. So therefore, the higher tax rate, the quicker return on investment you will achieve. So perhaps it's not as anti-business as perhaps the critics are making out. So my prediction is that the corporation tax rate will increase as planned to 25%. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I will very shortly be releasing a video explaining exactly what that means for your small business, because it's not that straightforward, as rates and increases are tapered for businesses with profits up to £250,000. So my second prediction is about super deductions. So for the last 2 years, there has been a super deduction rate of 130%, which covers a lot of investment in your businesses on capital allowances. And what this has enabled you to do is to deduct 130% of the investment from your profits. Essentially, it reduces the tax that you pay, and therefore means that more money goes into your pocket as a shareholder. But this is due to end on the 31st of March, and so far there has been no communication from the government about it being replaced or extended. My prediction is that this will remain or be replaced with something very similar. The super deduction was introduced in COVID to try and stimulate investment in business. So if this just ends, then investment could drop off the edge of a cliff as businesses wait until the economic outlook looks more certain before shelling out any money. This in turn will slow down the economy, and I don't think that the Chancellor wants to take that risk at this stage. So my prediction is that they will continue or replace the super deduction with something very similar. So if you are planning any capital expenditure in your business, such as new machinery or computers or IT equipment, make sure you watch the budget on the 15th of March so that you can time those expenses at the most tax efficient time for you. So my next prediction is around the over 50s in the workplace, and I think this won't come as a surprise to most of you, because it's constantly in the news that we are suffering in the UK from a lack of people in our workforce, and a big contributing factor to this is the number of over 50s that are classed as economically inactive. There has been a lot of talk by the government about how we can encourage this age range back into the workforce. So in the budget, we should expect to see policies that support this. So initiatives such as increasing the pension lifetime allowance, or even increasing the pension age. There's also been some discussion about potential tax breaks for over 50s, although I think that this is unlikely to go ahead. And you might think that these policy changes won't have a direct impact on your business. But if you're recruiting now or planning to recruit in the near future, then you need to make sure that your recruitment tactics are attracting and retaining the over 50s, as there's going to be more of them applying for your jobs than there currently are. So with your recruitment, you need to make sure that you're advertising in the right space to attract the over 50s, and that the language used in your job adverts is friendly to them. And you also need to review your internal HR policies to make sure that they are supporting workers at different stages of their life. So a few obvious ones could be making sure that you have a menopause policy and a phased retirement policy, for example. And my final prediction is on fuel duty. Now, again, nothing's really been commented on fuel duty so far, but in the last budget, fuel duty was cut by 5p per litre. Now, there's been some predictions that if this isn't continued, then the increase will actually equate to 12p at the pump. Now, pretty much everything that you can buy, either goods or services, has some form of transport involved in it at some point in its life cycle. So therefore, any increase in the rate of fuel prices will directly impact inflation by increasing the cost of goods. Therefore, my prediction is that the fuel duty cut will remain in place. So even if you think you don't buy fuel as a business, if the cost of the products and services that you're buying do increase, then you need to be mindful of the impact that this will be having on the profitability in your business. So there are my predictions for the top business impacting spring budget announcements. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel, because after the announcement on the 15th of March, we'll have a recap and see how accurate I was.